Which brings us to our final segment, pen to paper. In our pen to paper segment, we give you a practical challenge or reflection to help you write your own story of long-lasting love. Today's episode has centered around the role technology plays in today's relationships. One way to help build healthy habits around the use of technology in your relationship is to agree upon boundaries around your use of technology. So today's challenge is to have your discussions and set your boundaries. Real quick, we're going to review 4 of our must-have boundaries. So Melissa, what are some of our must-have boundaries in our relationship?
Never argue over text. We're going to have any important conversations in person.
Yep, absolutely. Daily, no device time. That might seem a little radical to some people. What? Put my device down? Yes, put your device down. We have our daily walks. We have our dinner time. We have some other times where we do not use devices. That's one of our boundaries. What else?
The radical transparency. That's a big one for us. If I wanted to see something on your phone, you're like, okay, cool.
At any time, look at my device, look at anything you want to. And honestly, I can't remember the last time that either of us have looked at each other's devices, but we believe in radical transparency, not only in our devices, in our finances, in other areas of our life. For us, radical transparency with our digital technology. And then the last one for us that's in our musts is we share very limited personal information on our social accounts. That's a little ironic given the podcast where we're sharing lots of personal stuff, but in our social feeds, we don't give real-time updates. Matter of fact, we don't give any updates about what's going on in our life and our family, except maybe the occasional really big milestone. Now, our girls share much more, and Taylor, one of our daughters who got married last year, her and her husband share a little bit more, and they've set their own level of boundaries on there. So we are a little bit old school, outdated, whatever you want to call it, but we don't share any personal information. That is a boundary for us. So what are a couple areas where we encourage people to discuss and have guardrails?
I think it's important to lay out what are the expectations, guidelines around texting with people of the opposite sex. And not necessarily just people you've been in a relationship with, but even a coworker. I've had people tell me, yeah, my significant other got a text from a coworker of the opposite sex at 10 o'clock at night. I was upset about that. Is that valid? And if you would have had that discussion about that, maybe you would have an idea of what is and isn't acceptable.
Yep. So who can you follow? When can you follow? How can you interact with them? What can you do? Is texting okay? Is texting not okay? Is liking their posts okay or not? Is commenting on their posts okay or not? Where are your boundaries? Set those. That's really important. And then I think the last one area we would really say is set parameters on what you're going to share through your digitals, be that your locations with people, be that your family photos, your couples photos, that sort of stuff. Just be really clear on that. And there's probably a dozen more areas, but our pen to paper is to have the conversation, set boundaries, because the only way to have healthy relationships with your partner and your devices is to communicate and set boundaries and sort of be very clear on that front. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what tech boundaries have you set in your relationship? What boundaries do you wish you had set? What boundaries have been crossed that you will never allow to be crossed again? Tell us your digital boundary stories.